I'm going to wait just a few seconds here for all the bells and whistles to be turning and ringing. And I'm going to wait for the first person to show up and then kick it off. Okay, here we go. So this video is going to talk about Pastor Bob's many musical anomalies. And what I mean by that is, as a professional musician, as a pianist, drummer, a little bit of guitar, vocalist, music producer, creator, I've done a wide variety of the things that both Pastor Bob does. And I've worked with literally thousands of musicians over the years who do as well. And I've seen the variations of kinds of musicians and singers and piano players and all of that too. So, so the list that I kind of have here and I'm going to run down is going to be sort of a review of just the musical anomalies that I see between Pastor Bob and Elvis. Like I said earlier today, and I will keep repeating, I'm not saying 100% that Pastor Bob is Elvis or that I know. Um, let's just leave it at that. But as many are talking about, there's many different connections and things that we're looking at. So I'm giving you my musician's perspective to share with you. So number one, and I'm going to talk about some other topics in the near future. So number one, his vocal similarities. Bob Joyce's voice bears a strong resemblance to Elvis Presley's baritone and tenor range. What does that mean? The baritone is like the lower range, and then tenor is the higher singing notes. So his ability to hit really deep notes of the same tone and vibrato patterns, that's kind of what raises a lot of the speculation, right? Just the way that he matches that sound and the range. And so also just to point out that that is kind of rare as it is, to be able to have that really deep lower range and also to be able to bam hit the high notes like at the end of American Trilogy. Okay, number two, his distinctive style. So both Bob Joyce and Elvis possess a unique Southern gospel and blues influenced singing style. So I think we all recognize that his phrasing, intonation, and soulfulness, and just the way he performs it. Right, that is very unique. That's a very small niche that he's hitting. That many other even impersonators, um, if you looked at maybe the kinds of music that they like and they sing and perform before maybe they did their act, right, it wouldn't be that much of a match. Um, Guitar techniques, I'm not going to go too much into that because guitar isn't one of my main instruments, but I can recognize again from working with and seeing many other guitar players that the way he strums, the way he does licks on the guitar, it's it's a match, right? I don't see any reason to think that it's not a match, essentially. His piano proficiency, that is my main instrument. So when he plays and I compare it to old videos, I'm seeing the same kind of movement up the keys and the different things that he's doing. Again, stylistically, also, is I see no difference. And if we just imagine that Elvis um, got older and he kept playing, what Bob Joyce is doing now is what I would expect to see from somebody who kept playing over the years. Once you hit a certain point as a professional musician like Elvis, and you've kind of hit that level of mastery, like any field, you're going to kind of plateau off. And there's really only so many ways you can improve, and that would be hello, maybe like public speaking or tying in, bring the message, the gospel to people and just putting it all together. Um, but that's not musical. That's just an example of, as you get older and wiser, how could you improve? Well, it would be something like that. And we know that Elvis was already drawn, kind of visioned doing that um, before he died. So, okay, that was the piano, stage presence. I kind of already covered that. Emotional delivery. This all goes into like performance, being in front of people, that natural charisma, right, that he has. Um, Even if it's somebody else in the family and they have the same DNA, same genes, right? We know from our brothers and sisters, our other family members, that's not an automatic thing. It's not like every member of the family has the same skills. And again, I'm talking about specifically musical skills. Most of these things are things, skills that take many, many years, decades to improve at and to really hone. And yes, even the legend Elvis had to hone those skills. There was practice day in, day out with the band or by himself, however he practiced. And these things take time. So you're not going to have just some relative who was in the basement and practicing for 20 years or something casually, and all of a sudden they're going to come out into the spotlight and be just like Elvis. Okay, so I know a lot of um, people think that that's a possibility. Somebody just kind of showed up out of the blue and, hey, wow, oh yeah, sounds just like him because he's his twin or relative. And I'm saying from a musical perspective, that makes no sense to me. So I kind of rule that out. Not completely. I don't necessarily rule anything out completely in this crazy world that we're in, but my musical background and knowledge and understanding of how it works to become a better musician, it kind of, yeah, it does kind of rule it out to an extent. Um, so vocal versatility, I kind of covered that. And then phrasing and breath control. Yeah, this is all stuff that I notice as a musician when I listen to them. That, of course, as an older man, you're not going to be able to do it as well as a younger man. But with somebody that's hit that skill level and they continued singing their whole life, I would say he's right where he should be right now. So that is more entertaining and fuel to the flame, as it were. Um, okay, so trying to keep this quick. I think that was the main musical stuff I want to cover for now. Some of the topics just to get you thinking about maybe other things or looking into other things. Stuff that I'm going to be looking at in the coming week is the Elvis and witness protection story, that kind of stuff. I don't know too much about it. There is a lot of stuff out there if you look around that you'll find. I haven't personally, I haven't looked too much into it other than what I just happened to come across. Um, Elvis's alleged connection to a family that starts with a K and ends with a entity. um, yeah, there's some. So basically, the short version that I'm trying to give you right now is between that family and the T, very well known person, and Gene Ho and George Magazine. There's kind of a circle there that many people have made. And so Gene Ho was a photographer for T for 2 years. And a lot of the images and pictures that he took, people claim that there were secret messages. And actually, it makes perfect sense now because if you listen to Gene Ho talk in his videos, he's very mysterious and obvious, beyond obvious, that he's trying to drop hints of some kind. So, yes, I believe when he was taking photographs, especially now, I believe that there was more to it. And he just happened to now be kind of the main guy with George Magazine. So would we think that they are also doing the same? And there's a connection? Yes, of course. So, um, so yeah, it's just like dot, 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 dot. And sometimes we see a new dot years later and it connects back to that one. It's just crazy. And right now, where we're at, about to head into October, I'm just so excited about what's happening and everything we're seeing. It's kind of like we're way past the point of, what ifs and, will something occur? It's like a certainty at this point. And I think the next 6 months is going to be just, I don't know, it's going to be wow. That's what it's going to be. Um, because we know that this November, there's no way it's going to be a normal November, if you know what I'm talking about. We all know what happens this November, especially if you're in the US. You know what happens at the beginning of this November. So, yeah, it's, and just the, what people are seeing now, um, hearing more open to than even a year ago, including myself, just kind of looking at certain things in different ways that, oh, can't hear me? Um, yep, this this mic is new, and so I'll just fix my tie here. Um, hopefully that's better. Welcome, Dave and Ben. So what was I saying? Yeah, so I think everybody a year compared to a year from now, we're tremendously more just in tune with what's happening and thinking about different things in different ways. And so it's different for everybody. But anyhow, just to wrap up here, those are some of the topics that I want to talk about. I love talking about all these possibilities with Bob Joyce and Elvis, because part of the reason is because it does kind of connect to a lot of different things, not always things that I can elaborate on. I'm sure you understand that, but it does. So I'm going to see if I can add some of these notes that I'm looking at on my other screen into the description, because some things I cannot do. Sorry. But hopefully, as far as the musical anomalies go, you guys get a better understanding about, from my perspective as a musician, my whole life, who's played and performed in many different capacities, that there's just a lot there, just on the musical side. So, what do we got here? Plays piano, guitar. Yep, sounds just like Elvis. Doesn't look exactly like him, but if he had all the money he could ever ask for, before going away, how hard would it be to have the money to, make some improvements in that area? I don't know. Yeah, as far as the Suns go, I don't know. There's probably arguments either way on that one. Um, but yeah, Mar-a-Lago, George Magazine. I mean, you have to think about that. And this is a pastor from an essentially small town, nobody knows church. I forget how old it is, but it's not that old of a church, I don't think. Why are all these people visiting him? Why is he being asked to pray at Mar-a-Lago? And why does George Magazine have such an interest in him? If he's not the guy, can I say it that way? Um, if he's not the guy, they would probably know that. Okay, can we accept that as probably Yes, I think so. So if they're in, we may not be in the know, but if all of those people are in the know and they're bringing him into sort of that circle of sorts, for me, that's a dot. That's a really big dot that I stick next to some other dots, and it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me if he's just some guy, maybe a good musician, good pastor, good speaker, but that doesn't make sense to me if he's just some guy that they all kind of accept him. So I think that's all I got for this one. Um, so he is Elvis. Yeah, so I think it's very possible, but I'll keep saying, unless I can say otherwise, that I don't know for sure. And I do pray for him. I sent him an email today, actually, and I am trying to make touch with him directly. In the meantime, I don't just post any video or just share whatever craziness I find online. Um, I listen to the text and I connect it with everything else I'm seeing, and I try to give you all stuff that's actually useful and connects to the other stuff that I give you. Okay, so if you're following the videos, you should see a pattern of this video builds upon this one, and so on and so forth. So yeah, the green and blue screen. I got that like 5 years ago, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna do all this cool stuff, and all I ended up doing was some silly videos and pointless stuff. But blue is also my favorite color, so it's just blue now. Um, what else we got? His 1990 album sounds just like him. Yeah, that was a point I made earlier too. His 1990 album, which I guess is his first released album as Bob Joyce, makes no sense when you see the picture because he's already gray and looks like an older man. So that wouldn't be what, in his 30s, I think, if he was, yeah, if he was Bob Joyce birth date, right? It gets confusing because there's just so much. But when things keep adding up a certain way, you just keep kind of following where that line goes. And so that's all I'm doing. I know that's what most of you are doing. Um, and I don't just blindly throw out uh, things that I haven't spent a lot of time on. So I think he's Elvis. Everything I've seen as well is listening to Elvis. Yes, Justin. Totally agreed. Absolutely everything I've seen has been similar enough to the point of I got no reason to question it unless something else changes my mind from that. And so again, we just keep following where everything's leading, and that's true for a lot of topics right now. And so just to wrap up again, um, I just feel like my head's spinning with everything going on lately. So we have to keep praying, keep our focus on God, and make sure that um, all of this stuff that's flying at us, everything that is going to be coming soon, that we're mentally, spiritually prepared for it. Uh, Everything that's going on and happening and coming, it's more and more obvious that it's God's plan. That's what I see, feel, and that's also why I'm just so excited to share more of it with more people, because I want to share it with others. I want others to see what I'm seeing. And for me, kind of this whole journey started back in 2016, really before that, but 2016, 2017. And since then, it's just been one thing after the next. And it seems to be all leading up to this November and the end of this year and 2025. So thank you all for watching, supporting, listening. I have many musical playlists, 432 music, 432 hertz music for a lot of it, if you're familiar with that topic, and stuff that's good for relaxing, focus, sleep, and just if you like contemporary Christian music, like K-Love or something like that. I've done a lot of songs that are kind of in that genre. Um, Not covers, original music. But so check out some of that. In the meantime, I'm going to get some more videos out to you probably tonight yet, and keep them coming. So, and I'm going to keep tying more of this stuff together. So I'm going to go probably bouncing off to some more Justin Bieber stuff, who, again, I've never been a fan of, but all these things connect in different ways. Who else? Tupac, Michael Jackson, some of these other big names that, why do they keep popping up? Why is this all happening now? Right? It's really interesting, and it does connect. And we're going to find out how it connects in the next year. Maybe a lot less. I really believe that. So, Brian, I hope it's him too. Hey, if it's not, if we're wrong about anything, like I've been saying over the years, as long as we have the right focus and we're using all of this interesting stuff to draw us closer to God and the truth, and improving ourselves, becoming better for our family and friends, and serving others, that's what I believe can be used for all of this. And so we shouldn't have any regrets or be upset. We should be happy if we find out what the truth is. That's what I really feel about everything. So, okay, one last comment here. Justin, the only way I feel we would kind of know if he is Elvis is to have someone who has been around Elvis who knew him that could tell us if Bob Joyce is really Elvis. Yeah, I would not be surprised for there to be a circle around him that knew who it is. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the birthday cake video, but that seems to be screaming uh, the Elvis possibility. So if they had a birthday and the cake, they could essentially all be in on it. I mean, know it, but they're protecting him. I've heard the church vets uh, all the newcomers, as they should, and they should be looking out for Pastor Bob. So, and it's a small church. It wouldn't be that hard to sort of keep it within that a small group, however they do it. When you start involving more people, obviously, it's harder to keep a secret. So, yeah, I could go on and on about all this because I've been digging on it for a long time, just like a lot of you. But thanks again for watching, listening. I'm really going to wrap it up this time so I can go eat. And yeah, like I said, I'll probably get you all some more videos in the next hour or two before I call it a day. So thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good week. We're starting now, and I will see you all again soon.